The 3 endless money attracting principles in your life. Repeating these 3 principles makes being poor difficult. These are 3 useful principles that can help anyone increase their chances of earning more money. The first principle of wealth: networking. We are the average of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. If you're hanging out with people who don't have much money, don't go anywhere and don't encourage you to develop to earn more. Guess who you'll end up becoming? On the other hand, if you want to become more successful or wealthy, it's imperative that we strive to get to know wealthy, successful people. So, if you want to improve your quality of life, befriend those who have already achieved or will achieve the accomplishments you're striving for. The second principle is giving. The core principle stated is to aim to give before receiving. Being someone who receives is important, but more importantly, aim to be someone who gives. All the great fortunes in the world are made by people who have a great passion for what they give. Products, services, ideas, than what they receive. A rather powerful and entirely logical thought as to why those who focus more on giving than receiving actually end up receiving more. A real-life story, not long ago, is evidence of this. My travel companion and I sold 2 properties and engaged with 2 different real estate agents. The first agent was always very attentive to us, asking serious questions every step of the way throughout our property sales. In contrast, the second agent seemed to want to do as little as possible, only caring about completing the deal and ending it so they could receive their commission as quickly as possible. This made us have to be more involved, have to assess more on our own because of the clear mistakes or oversights we discovered early in the process. It forced us to be proactive to ensure everything went according to plan, and it was quite an unpleasant experience. So, can you guess which real estate agent earned a more substantial paycheck? Can you guess who we introduced multiple times to our friends? Can you guess who was the main character in our positive online reviews with 5 stars? Can you guess who we wanted to give a gift to show our appreciation? If you guessed it was the first agent, you're right. So, how does this relate to wealth? Because the first person gave and they received. They not only got paid at the end of the transaction, but also earned more through the referrals we suggested, the positive online reviews we wrote, and the thank you gifts we gave. We felt compelled to give back what we thought they deserved for the service they provided and for giving. They didn't receive more because they didn't provide genuine service and also didn't know how to give. The pessimist complains about the wind, the optimist waits for the wind to change. The realist adjusts the sails. The third principle of wealth. This is a very famous success principle. If you've ever heard of the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle, then you've actually encountered the Pareto principle. Essentially, this principle states that for many things, about 80% of the effects come from 20% of the causes. For example, 80% of the activities you do will account for 80% of your results, while 80% of the activities you do will only account for 20% of your results. While this rule may be a bit disheartening, it's also a great knowledge that you can leverage to create and improve your action plans better. By understanding that typically only 20% of the activities we engage in yield 80% of the results, we can strive to nurture and identify what those core activities are. And when we identify what those activities are, we set ourselves up to accelerate our results. Another way this principle particularly applies is to those interested in achievements. It can help you understand better why some customers buy our goods and services, and why some don't or won't. In other words, when 80% of the people you approach about your product, service, or opportunity say no to you, remember that the no's you're getting may not be about your product or service. According to this principle, you'll need to surpass an average of 5 rejections to get one yes. By understanding and applying this principle, you'll be much less surprised and discouraged when receiving those no's from your customers.